The sky over the junkyard was dark and full of smoke. Black clouds moved slowly, covering the stars. Cold wind blew across the piles of broken ships, rusted machines, and old metal. It was a forgotten place where things came to die. Deep in the junkyard, something moved, a soft sound. Almost a whisper. Between two piles of trash, half covered in metal sheets, lay a girl. Her skin was pale purple, covered in dirt. Her body was thin, weak, and cold. Her eyes were half open, looking at the dark sky above. But she could not move. Not even a finger. Her name was Vela. She was not human. She belonged to the Zerine race, noble, rich, powerful. But now she was broken. Her spine was damaged. Her legs did not work. Her family had thrown her away. They left her in the junkyard. Like trash. "We don't need a broken daughter," her father had said before they left. "Better she disappears." Vela couldn't fight back. She couldn't speak. She could only lie there, weak and cold, waiting for her life to end. But then she heard something. Footsteps. Heavy boots stepping on metal. A flashlight moved through the darkness. It stopped near her, and a deep voice spoke. "Is someone there?" Vela blinked once. The man stepped closer. He wore an old coat, armor plates on his shoulders, and a helmet on his belt. A rifle was slung on his back. He was human. Tall, rough-looking, with tired eyes. His name was Jack. He was a scavenger, looking for old tech in the junkyard. But what he found was not metal. He saw her, a girl. Not moving, not breathing much. Just lying there, barely alive. "What the hell?" he whispered and dropped to one knee beside her. Her eyes blinked again. A tear rolled down her cheek. Hey, don't cry," Jack said gently. "You're alive. You're gonna be okay." He looked around. No ships nearby. No help, just him. Jack carefully touched her forehead. It was burning. She had a fever. He saw scars on her neck, her arms. Signs of injury and long suffering. But worst of all, her back was stiff, paralyzed. "Who did this to you?" he asked softly. Vela blinked once. That meant yes. "Family?" She blinked once again. Jack's face turned hard. "Bastards." He stood up and looked around. Junkyard predators often roamed at night. Creatures that smelled blood. And right now, her weak scent would bring them. "Growl." Jack turned fast. A shadow moved behind a pile of scrap. Two red eyes stared at him in the dark. "Damn," he muttered. He grabbed a broken pipe from the ground. "You stay right here. I'll handle this." The beast jumped. Jack swung the pipe hard and hit it in the face. The creature screamed and slashed with its claws. Jack fell back but rolled to his feet. He kicked the monster, then stabbed it with a metal rod. Blood sprayed on the trash. The creature ran away, wounded. Jack breathed hard and looked back at Vela. She hadn't moved, but her eyes, they were wide open. Full of fear, he returned to her side and quickly wrapped her in his thick coat. "You're coming with me," he said. "I can't leave you here." Jack lifted her in his arms. She was light, too light, like she hadn't eaten in days. Her body was cold. He walked toward his small ship, parked near the edge of the junkyard. As he walked, he spoke softly. "I'm Jack. I'm human. Don't worry, I won't hurt you." Vela blinked slowly. At his ship, Jack laid her on a soft seat and connected a scanner to her neck. The small device beeped. A robotic voice said, "Critical condition, spinal damage, malnutrition, no infections." "She's still got a chance," Jack whispered. He gave her warm liquid food through a tube, covered her with a blanket, then activated the security system. "Rest now," he said. "You're safe." But his ship's AI suddenly beeped. "Warning. Unknown signal detected. Possible tracker on alien female. Uploading bounty notice." Jack stared at the screen. A photo of Vela appeared with a bounty of 50,000 credits. But it wasn't a rescue bounty, it was a kill order. Jack's jaw tightened. He looked at Vila, sleeping now, finally warm. She had been left to die. And someone still wanted her dead. He sat beside her, holding his rifle. "You're not trash," he said quietly. "And I'm not leaving you behind." Outside, the wind howled, and far above in the stars, someone was already watching. Asterisk start with a unique hook. The junkyard was quiet, but not dead. Somewhere in the distance, metal creaked, like something breathing. Above, 2 moons watched silently. And deep inside Jack's ship, the girl who should have been dead, Vila, was still alive, but someone else knew she was here. Red light blinked slowly beneath her collarbone. It was not a wound. It was a tracker. Jack stood by the window of his ship, watching the junkyard through thermal vision. His rifle was charged. His heart was calm, but his mind wasn't. He had fought wars. He had seen death, but never had he carried a dying girl on his back, only to find out her own people wanted her completely erased. He looked over his shoulder. Vela lay on the seat, weak and pale. The blanket covered her tiny frame. Tubes ran into her arm. Her chest rose and fell slowly. She didn't choose this, Jack muttered to himself. They threw her away like trash. He sat beside her again. "Can you hear me?" Vila's eyes opened. Very slowly. Jack held a screen in front of her and asked, "Is there a tracker on you?" She blinked once. "Yes." "Can I remove it?" She paused, then blinked twice. "No." Jack cursed under his breath. "It'll alert them. The moment we cut it out, they'll know." Outside, a sound echoed. Clang. Metal falling. Jack jumped to his feet, picked up his rifle, and looked through the window again. Nothing. Then something shimmered. A stealth drone, almost invisible, hovered above the junkyard. Its red sensors scanned the area. "Damn it. They're here already," Jack said. He looked at Vila again. "I should leave. I should run." But he shook his head. "You don't leave the broken behind." He tapped a few buttons on his wrist screen. Emergency lockdown activated. All ship lights went red. Shields powered up. Weapons rotated into place. "You're safe here," he whispered, but he didn't feel safe. Meanwhile, inside Vila's mind, flashes of memory returned. Her mother's voice. She can't even stand. What use is she now? Her brother. She's better off gone. One less problem. Her father. Take her to the junkyard. Say she died in her sleep. She had wanted to scream, to fight. But her body had betrayed her. Only her mind had survived. And now, this human had saved her. No reason, no reward. Why? She didn't understand. Boom. The ground shook. Something had exploded outside. Jack rushed to the control panel. "They're breaching the north gate." I said. He gritted his teeth. "I need more time." He ran to the storage room, pulled out an old invisibility cloak, and threw it over Vila. "Don't move," he said softly. "Not that you can, huh?" He tried to smile, but his voice cracked. "I'll protect you, even if it kills me." Jack exited the ship. The cold wind hit his face. His eyes scanned the burning gate. 2 armed bounty hunters walked in tall, armored, fast. They didn't speak. Just searched. One pointed toward the ship. Jack raised his rifle and fired. First. Laser beams flew across the dark. The first bounty hunter fell. The second ducked and rolled, throwing a plasma grenade. Jack dodged behind a pile of junk. His shoulder burned. He'd been grazed. He rolled, took aim again, and shot. The second one screamed and fell. Back inside. Vila watched through the small window. She saw Jack standing there, breathing hard, covered in dirt and blood, but still holding his rifle. He looked like a warrior, like someone who didn't care if the world burned, as long as he protected her. And for the first time in weeks, a single thought entered her mind. Maybe I want to live. Jack limped back into the ship, sat beside her and smiled. Told you I'd be back. He checked her pulse, still steady. You okay? Vila blinked once. He leaned back, exhaled deeply. Then the AI said something that made his blood run cold. More signals approaching. Multiple life forms. Estimated time, 40 minutes. Jack's jaw tightened. They won't stop, huh? He looked at Vila. Guess it's us against the galaxy now. Unique start, flashback plus present twist. Long ago, on her birthday, Vila stood tall in royal clothes. Her golden robe touched the floor. Her father smiled in front of thousands of guests. She is my daughter, he had said proudly. A gift. To our people. Now she lay flat on a thin bed, wearing rags, hidden under an invisibility cloak, with dried blood on her lips. The gift had become trash, and someone out there still wanted her gone. Jack stood at the edge of the junkyard bunker, cleaning blood off his hands. The bodies of 2 bounty hunters burned behind him. Their armor melted in the fire. He felt no guilt. Came to kill her. His ship's eye beeped again. Multiple ships entering low orbit. Signals match elite hunter-class raiders. Jack turned his head slowly. So they're sending the big ones now. He walked back into the bunker, limping from the last fight. Vila was awake. She looked at him with those tired, silver eyes. Her body didn't move, but something in her gaze had changed. She wasn't just surviving anymore. She was watching, learning. Jack sat down next to her and sighed. They've placed a bounty on your head. He showed her a hologram. It was her face, but not the real her. This was an edited image. It called her a bioweapon, escaped from royal labs, a lie. A trick, reward, 100,000 credits. Dead only. Whoever did this, Jack said, really wants you to disappear forever. Vila blinked once. Yes, why? He asked, why would your family do this? She struggled. Her fingers twitched, once, twice. She pointed at a small screen with a keypad. Jack quickly placed it in front of her. It took her minutes. But slowly, painfully she typed, not bioweapon, secret heir. Jack froze. Heir to what? Another message. Empire, I'm next. They lied. The truth hit like a bomb. They didn't throw her away because she was broken. They did it because she was the true heir to a royal empire. And now they wanted her erased, buried, forgotten before she could speak the truth. Outside, one of the enemy ships landed far off in the junkyard. The ground rumbled. Jack turned to the AI. How long before they reach us? The AI replied, 35 minutes. Jack stood up, grabbed the toolkit, and said, we don't have time. If they want you erased, we need to get the truth out first. He opened a panel near the ship's comms unit and began rewiring it. What are you doing? The AI asked. Sending a message, Jack said, to the galaxy. Her story, her name, the truth. He looked at Vila. You're not trash. You're a queen. Meanwhile, in the capital palace of the Xerene Empire, Vila's cousin, a cold, cruel man named Prince Devor, watched the bounty screen update. Is she dead yet? He asked his guards. Not yet, my prince. But the signal from her tracker is still active, Devor growled. That human is interfering. Kill them both. No bodies, no trace. Back in the junkyard, Jack finished the transmission array. It hummed with energy. He turned on the camera and pointed it at Vila. Ready to tell your story? He asked. Vela blinked once. Yes. The camera recorded her face. Jack spoke for her. This is Vila of the Xerene royal family. They said she died. They lied. She is alive. And they want her silenced forever. He sent the video out to every open frequency in the galaxy. Minutes later, chaos began. News stations picked it up. People started asking questions. Why was a royal heir thrown in the trash? Why was there a kill order? What were they hiding? The truth had started to leak and the Empire was losing control. But it wasn't over. The AI suddenly spoke. Warning. Incoming missile, 19 seconds to impact. Jack's eyes widened. They're trying to destroy the whole junkyard. He grabbed Vila. We're moving. He pushed her onto a hoverbed, sealed her under armor plating, and ran toward the underground escape tunnel, just as the missile hit. Boom! Flames burst through the surface. The bunker exploded behind them. Metal flew through the air like knives. Dust. Fire. Silence. Then, Jack's voice came through the darkness. You're safe. We're not done yet. Unique hook, Vila's mind versus body. She had dreamed of flying in her dreams. She stood tall in silver armor, her wings glowing with energy. She led armies. People cheered her name, but when she opened her eyes, she couldn't even move her legs. Her name was Vela. She was supposed to rule an empire. Now, she couldn't even sit up without help, but something inside her refused to die. The tunnel beneath the junkyard was damp, cold, and shaking. Smoke still poured from the surface above. Jack pushed the hoverbed forward, his shoulder bleeding from shrapnel. Every few seconds he looked back. They'll follow us, he whispered. But they'll have to crawl through hell to catch us. Vila lay quietly on the bed, her eyes alert. She watched every movement Jack made, every injury he hid, every breath he forced out. She had seen many warriors in her life, but this human fought for no reward, no title, no medal. Just for her. They reached an old maintenance station, deep underground. Dust covered everything, but the walls were strong and the room was dry. It would have to do. Jack set Vila down on a metal bench, wiped his face and said, "We'll rest here. Just for a while." Vila blinked slowly. Jack checked her vitals. On the scanner, heart steady, reflex weak. "But you're improving." He took her hand gently. "Do you feel this?" Her fingers twitched. Very faint, but it was there. Jack smiled. "You're getting stronger." Vila wanted to cry, but tears would be wasted. Instead, she tried again, one finger bent. Then another pain shot through her spine, but she didn't stop. She remembered what Jack had said earlier. "You're not trash. You're a queen." That single sentence had done what no medicine ever could. It had lit a fire inside her. Hours passed. Jack built a small energy field around the station. He fixed an old drone to watch the tunnel entrance. He set traps, laser, tripwires, sonic bombs, EMP spikes. But his body was slowing down. He sat next to Vila, breathing hard. "If I don't make it." He started. Vela blinked hard twice. "No, you need to live," he said. "Even if I don't." Vila's lips moved. No sound came out. But she kept trying. Then, her voice cracked out, weak and broken. "Don't leave." Jack froze. He turned, eyes wide. "You just spoke," he whispered. Vela looked at him, her face shaking with effort. "You can't die." Jack laughed softly. "I wasn't planning to, not yet." The AI's voice suddenly echoed through his earpiece. Motion detected. 10 life signs, armed. 2 minutes away. Jack stood. "Here we go again." He looked at Vila. "I need to fight. But I'll come back." She looked down at her hand. Slowly, she moved it across the bed. Then grabbed a broken tool, not to fight but to prepare. Jack met the attackers in the hallway alone. The first soldier rushed in with a plasma blade. Jack blocked with a pipe and countered with a punch. The second fired a shot. Jack dodged, rolled, and kicked him into a wall. But he was bleeding, tired. Slower now. More soldiers came. They surrounded him. And that's when it happened. A sound. Behind them, a dragging noise. Then, a flash. A soldier screamed. Something had hit him from the side. They turned and saw her. Vela. Not walking, but crawling. holding a metal rod in one shaking hand, face full of pain, but eyes full of fire. The soldiers hesitated. "She's supposed to be paralyzed," one said. Another shouted, "She's moving, stop her." They raised their guns, but Jack roared and tackled them, giving her time. Vila didn't stop. She dragged herself forward, gritting her teeth. Her hands bled. Her arms shook. She reached Jack's dropped pistol. Her fingers trembled. She aimed and fired. One shot, straight into the enemy leader's chest. He fell. The others scattered. Jack finished the last attacker with a punch and collapsed beside her, breathing hard. "You fought," he whispered. Vele smiled for the first time. "I'm not done yet." Unique hook, first-person memory moment shown in third person. Once, Vila had danced under the twin moons. Her bare feet touched soft stone. Music filled the royal halls. People watched her with pride. Her father had said, "You move like a flame, my daughter." Now she lay on a cold floor, her knees scraped, her arms shaking, her breath short, crawling, and her body burned not with beauty, but with pain. But pain meant she could feel again. Jack sat on the floor beside her, holding a wet cloth to his bleeding forehead. He was covered in bruises, dust, and dried blood. His weapon lay nearby, empty. The battle was over for now, and Vila had helped save them both, not with strength, but with will. Jack looked at her, still breathing hard. "You shot that bastard, I saw it." Vila blinked once, then managed a weak smile. "You said I was a queen," Jack nodded. "You acted like one." The AI buzzed softly. "Threat level reduced. No enemy signals for now," Jack exhaled. He moved to Vila and gently picked her up from the floor. Her arms twitched again more than before. "You're healing," he said. Vila's voice came slow and rough, still broken. "No," Jack said, firm. "Just waking up." He carried her to the resting bed and laid her down. Then he opened a case. Inside was something strange: metal plates, wires, motors, and soft pads. Jack had been working on it since day one. A mobility frame, a custom support suit. "Built this for you," he said. "Didn't know if you'd live long enough to use it. Now I think you might stand someday." Vila stared at the strange machine. Then whispered, "Teach me." The next morning, they began. Jack lifted her gently and locked the metal frame around her body. The motors hummed quietly. He placed a soft band around her forehead that connected to the frame's nervous system. "Think, move," he said. Vela closed her eyes. Her right leg twitched. Then again. Then both legs moved slightly stiff. "Robotic but real," she gasped. Jack smiled wide. "There you go. You're walking the hard road now." Vila said nothing, but inside, her heart beat faster. For the next few days, they trained in silence. Jack held her shoulders as she learned to stand in the suit. He placed soft objects on the floor and asked her to reach them. Each time her hands trembled, he whispered, "Again." Each time she failed, he said, "Still better than yesterday." And when she fell, he didn't rush to catch her. He stood beside her and waited for her to rise on her own. Vila's body grew stronger. Inch by inch. Her arms didn't shake as much. Her voice became clearer. Her eyes, once filled with sadness, now shone with quiet fire. One evening, Jack brought her a thin mirror, made from polished junk metal. "Look," he said. Vela saw herself in the reflection. Thin, scarred, hair wild, but standing on her own feet. With the help of the frame, her hands shook as she reached toward the mirror. "I remember being beautiful," she whispered. Jack looked at her reflection and replied, "You still are." Far away, in the royal palace, chaos was growing. The message Jack had sent, the video of Vila, had not gone unnoticed. People across the galaxy began asking, "Is the royal family hiding a living heir? Why was she left to die?" The nobles panicked, but Prince Devor was not finished. He ordered the deadliest hunter in the Empire, the Black Seeker. A machine man with one mission: erase the girl. Back in the hidden chamber, Jack upgraded the ship's systems. The AI said, "Your injuries are healing slowly, Jack. You should rest." "I'll rest when she's safe," he replied. He walked to Vila, now seated upright and cleaning a small blade. "You're ready for the next step," he said. Vela looked up. "Which step?" He grinned. "Combat." Her brow raised slightly. "I can't fight." "You already did," he said. "Now you'll learn to win." He handed her a small plasma dagger. She held it tight in both hands. It trembled. Just a little. But then it steadied. Unique hook. Start from the villain's point of view. He did not breathe. He did not sleep. He did not feel. They called him the Black Seeker. Part machine, part monster, all killer. He was created for one purpose: to erase what must not exist. He walked alone through fire, through war, through silence. And now he had a name in his system: call on, VEEL, a target, eliminate, reward, authority, silence, blood. The Black Seeker stepped onto the junkyard world, and the hunt began. Far below, in the hidden chamber, Jack was sharpening a blade when the warning came. The AI's voice turned cold. "Alert, new signal detected. Unknown energy, untraceable origin, estimated threat, extreme." Jack looked up sharply. "What is it?" "One life form. Not a bounty team. Something worse." Jack's face turned pale. He walked over to Vila, who was now able to sit upright in her suit, moving her fingers with ease. She practiced lifting her dagger over and over. Jack whispered, "They sent him." "Who?" she asked. "He didn't answer right away," then said quietly, "The one who doesn't stop." Above ground, the Black Seeker crushed a steel door with one hand. He moved through fire and broken metal, scanning every trace of her DNA. He found blood on a stone. Fresh. He smiled, not with his mouth, but with the red glow of his eye. "She is near." Jack activated the last defense protocols in the chamber. "All systems armed," said the AI. "But it won't stop him." "I know," Jack said. He turned to Vila. "If I fall, don't fight him. Run. Hide." Vila frowned. "You taught me not to run." Jack looked at her, heart heavy. "You're not ready for him." Vila gripped her blade tighter. "I'll never be ready," she said, "unless I try." Minutes later, the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Pipes rattled. He was close. Then silence. Too much silence. Jack aimed his rifle at the tunnel. "Stay back," he told Vila. Then the door exploded. The Black Seeker stepped into the room. He was twice Jack's size, covered in black armor. His face had no mouth, only one red eye in the center. His voice was like metal grinding on bone. "Human, step aside. She must be erased." Jack didn't move. "She's not a threat. She breathes. That is enough." And then he struck. The fight was fast and brutal. Jack fired round after round. The Seeker dodged like a shadow, moved like a ghost. He slammed Jack into the wall with a single punch. Jack coughed blood. The Seeker turned toward Vila, time to finish what her family could not. But then, a voice called out, "Stop." Vila stood. Barely. Her legs shook. The suit clicked and groaned, but she stood, dagger in hand, face full of fear and courage. "I'm not afraid of you," she said. The Seeker paused. "You are broken. I'm rising. You are nothing. I'm enough." She charged forward, slow but steady. Jack cried out, "Vila, no!" She dodged the Seeker's first swing and slashed at his arm. Sparks flew. She spun, landed a hit to his leg, but he grabbed her and threw her against the wall. Her suit cracked. Her arm screamed in pain, but she stood again, bleeding, bruised, still standing. "You don't win," she whispered. "Not this time." Jack grabbed his broken rifle and used it like a club. Together, He and Vila attacked again, man and alien. Soldier and survivor. Blow after blow. Strike after strike. Until finally Jack drove a blade into the Seeker's eye. Crack. Sparks burst. The Seeker collapsed. Shaking, burning. Then silence. The room smelled of smoke and metal. Jack collapsed beside Vila. They were both shaking. You shouldn't have fought him. Jack said softly. You shouldn't have taught me to fight. Vila replied. They laughed, weak but alive. Far away, in the royal palace, Prince Diva watched the signal from the Black Seeker go dark. His face stood in rage. She's still alive, he growled. The war to erase her was just beginning, but for now, in the heart of a dead world, a human and an alien girl sat side by side. Broken, yes, but not beaten, and not alone. A single flower grew in the junkyard. It pushed through rusted metal, through ash, through poison. It was small, ugly, even. But it was alive. It was not supposed to bloom here, but it did, just like Vila. Days had passed since the Black Seeker was defeated. The hidden bunker still smelled of fire and blood. But now, there was something else in the air. Hope. Jack lay in the corner, arm in a sling, ribs cracked, but alive. And across from him, Vila stood. No longer crawling, no longer weak. She wore her suit like armor. Her eyes were steady, her steps slow, but proud. She was not a queen by crown, but by choice. The AI beeped gently. Galaxy response increasing. The video transmission has reached over 92 sectors. Rebellion is rising. Citizens are asking for the lost heir. Jack grinned. Looks like people believe you're real. Vila sat beside him. They believed, because you did first. Jack looked at her. What are you going to do now? She didn't answer right away. Then she stood and walked toward the communication panel. I'm going to speak. On the edge of the galaxy, news screens lit up. People gathered in silence, watching. And then her voice came through clear, calm, royal. My name is Vila, daughter of the house that tried to erase me. I was thrown away, abandoned, hunted, but I survived. Not because I was strong, but because someone chose to save me. Across planets, millions listened. I am not here to take revenge. I am here to bring truth. The crown means nothing to me, but the people do. She looked at Jack, who nodded. I am not broken. I am reborn. Chaos erupted across the empire. Citizens marched. Soldiers lowered their weapons. Even some nobles whispered, the real heir has returned. Prince Diva slammed his fist on the table. She was garbage. She was forgotten. But now he was the one being hunted. His crimes, his lies were no longer secret. Back on the junkyard moon, Jack packed his gear. You sure you want to go public? He asked. Vila adjusted her suit. The time for hiding is over. Jack paused. You'll be a target again. I already was. He smiled. You're still insane. She looked at him. Only because I learned from you. They walked together toward his ship. It wasn't pretty. It was dented, patched, and slow. But it flew. As the ship lifted off, Vila looked down at the junkyard. One last time, the place where her old life ended, and where her new one began. From a quiet corner of space, the ship broke through the clouds and entered the stars. The galaxy waited. And the forgotten girl once left to die in the trash was now flying toward her destiny. Last seen, powerful closing visual. Inside the ship, Vila stood at the window, looking at the stars. Jack stood behind her. You ready? He asked. She placed a hand on the glass and whispered, no one will ever be thrown away again. Jack nodded. Let's make sure of that. They flew into the light. 2 warriors. 1 human. 1 alien. One story the galaxy would never forget.